Hi everyone, welcome to Anshu Academy. In this tutorial, we will learn how to use Postman to make the API calls. So if you recall, we created a web API application in our previous tutorials, which has a products controller endpoint. And then if you run this application, so we have a bunch of API endpoints that we defined. So if I go to get products to begin with and then execute, it's going to return us some data. Now, uh, Postman is another way to use it. So here is the Postman link. You can create a new, sign up for a new account and download it. And once you download it, it will look like this. So in Postman, you can create requests which can be reused, or you can modify the request and you can save it for future use. But in Swagger, you have to every time input your data. So that's something that we can avoid. Now, looking at the Swagger, let's try to create a request for this get products and others. So to do that, let's start with collections. So collections are a way to organize, right? So let me create a collection. It's just like a folder called Adventure Works. Once I do that, I will add a new request, add request, and then I'm going to copy this from here. Yeah. So you can see the request executed and we were able to get the records. So I'm going to rename the request to be get requests and then just save it. So this is how we create a simple get request using the Postman. Now we do have other calls which we can quickly do that. Now for get product by name, I can just search anything and then see if it is executing. Yes. So I'm going to copy this request and then create a new request. Yes. And you can see the same request is coming here. And then I will rename this to here and save it. Now, one problem that you can see here is we have hard coded the URL here. So in future, let's say you want to run this in a different environment, like a dev or test environment. This will not work because you need to come and change everywhere. So in order to do this, we can solve this problem. We can use something called variables, right? Environment and variables. So to do that, let's go to the environments. Let's create an environment. For now, I will call it local because I'm using local environment, but I can add as many environments I want. Now within the local environment, I'm going to add a variable called API endpoint, and then I'm going to go to the one of the request and copy this URL into the initial value and current value, and then I'm going to save this. So once I do that, in the environment section, I get the local drop down which I can select. Then if I come to the collections, so here instead of using the hard coded value, I can just say API endpoint. Okay. And you can see it is still working. So similarly, we can do this for so here instead of having the URL, I can do this. Okay. Now one more request we will add, that is get request by ID. This one. So this one will take a request with the ID parameter, and then it will return all the details for the product. So let's go here. I will add a new request. I'm going to change the URL to the variable using curly braces. And I'm going to rename the request to be get product by ID. Okay. So now that this is working, let's look at how to do post request. So for the post request, this is my request that I have. So what I will do is I can actually clone, right, a request. So if I want to do a clone, I can do. So this will make a copy of the request, and I'm going to change the URL to be API products add product. So API products is already there. I'm going to change this to add products. So now if you see, here is my body, but this is a post request. So we need to change this to post. And then from my previous get request, I'm going to copy the output, come back here, and then I'm going to put it into the body. So for that, you have to go to the this section body. You have to go to the raw and then go to the JSON. Here you can put your request, and then you can save it. You can call it add product. The only problem is, if you see here, this one in the add product ID, our ID is has been renamed, right? So it should be ID. And since we're adding a new product, it's going to be 0. And the name is product name. Then I'm going to call it new product number new. And then the ID has to be changed because of the foreign key. Yeah. So if you see here, it created a new request or a new record, which we can verify by going to this method, get product by ID, and then calling that. It's going to be and the request number is 024. Yeah, this is the new record that we created. Okay. Next is we will see how to do the um, request to modify, that is the put request right here. So to do that, I'll go and save. First of all, I will save these records, and I will create I'll just duplicate request from here. I'll change it to put, and then my call has products slash edit product. So instead of add product, it's going to be edit product. And then once I save it, it's going to change. Here, what I used for add product, same request I'm going to use. Edit product. So here, if you notice that in that edit product request, we are also taking a query parameter of ID, which we need to add. So that will be in the params ID. It's going to be same thing from here, 2024. will give the ID to recognize, and then here also I'll put 4. And then I think we need to remove this row GUID, which is a foreign key. And then I will call it edited. Let's execute this. So I think it's already there is a product by that name. So I'm going to change it to this. Okay, so I'm going to add make it 3 this time, and then uh, from this request, because the IDs has is a foreign key and it has to match. So I'm going to put it here and then execute this. Yeah. So now you can see it worked. So like if I do the same query back now, you can see all our changes are reflecting here. So this is how we use Postman for creating various type of requests, as well as we can use variables to reuse the same endpoints, for example. I hope this was helpful. If you like the content, please subscribe to the channel for more such videos. And if you like the video, please give it a like. Thank you.